Hello and welcome to the newest episode of Nerdherders. First impressions. Ready for this?
No.
Say cheese.
Cheese.
It's not even a picture. Yes.
Ladies and dynamic entry!
Alright, viewers, welcome to another episode of Nerdherders First Impressions. It's been a while since our last one. Iron Man 3 has come out, and that is going to be the subject matter of today's video. We're just going to kind of talk about what we thought, the pros and cons of the movie, what we liked, what we didn't like, and also going to talk about the differences between 2D and 3D. So, would anyone like to start us off here? I would like to introduce my sister, Abigail, who you recognize, hopefully, from the Ultra Sabers commercial video we made, and my lovely companion, Senia, who was in the Book of Answers, also in Sonic the Hedgehog First Impressions.
Well, first of all, I was worried about it being a third movie in a series, just because a lot of different movie series, they tend to get worse as they go. But I was impressed with it, so I think that it went. I think it went well with the series, and that in quality it's right up there with the first and second movie.
This one is actually pretty good, considering the end, which, spoiler alert, he decides to get it all out, and then it's in, water.
She's talking about the arc reactor.
Which is really depressing, because then you're like, what are you going to do for the next Avengers, if they even have it?
When I first heard that Shane Black was directing it instead of Jon Favreau, I was like, because I have not seen anything Shane Black has directed, and I just kind of loved the tone that Jon Favreau had kind of set up. But I thought it was tweaked in a way where it was different, but not different enough that it detracted from the characters or the story or anything like that. Like, a lot of it was based off of the Iron Man Extremis comics, and it was really cool kind of how they connected it, and I liked the way they interpreted it. It was really just kind of, I don't know. They made it fit in the world that we live in. And
I am Iron Man.
I really like how the relationship, grew exponentially. That was a math term. And it went from the first one, he kind of was just using her as, an assistant thing. And then the second one, he realized, oh, this is a fabulous person I can trust with all this power. And then in Avengers, he's like, okay, love. And then this one, he's like, oh my god, it's super love. And it just kind of went exponentially.
I can't live without you.
Yeah, kind of like that. That's why the suit.
I can't live without you.
Oh, shut up.
War Machine rocks with an X.
So you two saw it actually in 3D without us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was the difference? What did you guys like the differences between the 3D and the 2D?
I mean, one of the things they're doing with 3D nowadays, I like how they do it for so many movies. It's not really that kind of gimmick like, whoa, it's in my face. Now it's just kind of like, it puts you like you're in the environment, and you really feel like you get that sense of depth when you're looking into it. Like, you could reach out and slap him.
It's more of an immersion.
Why would you want to slap him?
Why not?
Because he's pretty. Abs, what do you like?
It had very good definition.
Just definition?
Yeah.
I do also like how they had all the different suits in there.
Yes.
But I do not like that they did not, specifically name off the different suits. I understand that would take, a lot of time, but for people who have not read the comics or have not, looked into the different suits, they would just think, oh, it's Mark 1, 2, 3. They would just think it's that instead of actual names for it other than, War Machine.
That's essentially what they were. I mean...
But later in the comics, they actually, start getting names.
Well, they get names depending on their purpose, but they were made in order. That's the initial name, and then it's like, okay, code name this because it does this.
Yeah,
but still, if you had no background knowledge, that scene would have been a little overwheeling.
Yeah.
Where'd all that come from?
That was one of the things we were talking about. Mark from Halo and all the other videos, the big guy. We were talking about the suits, how they got destroyed really easily. Even in the previews when I saw them blowing up, all the first 6 suits, I was like, and they just shattered so easily. They're made out of plastic.
Yeah, in the first movie, the suit was so, invincible almost, it seemed. He gets hit by a tank, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, when he got shot down.
Yeah, but now when the suits are just flying around, they bump into things and just fall apart on the ground. And,
Anyways, one of the things that I talked to Mark about was he felt like the suits were going more quantity over quality, so more suits without really emphasizing durability or functionality. But I mean, the thing is, each suit was kind of designed for a specific purpose. Like you had the red snapper, really kind of long pincer things on it, and that's for like handling heavy lifting and stuff like that. And then the one thing that kind of bothered me with the suits was the big one, which was obviously the Hulkbuster suit, was called Igor.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have just been called Hulkbuster. I mean,
I really liked how in this movie you get more of a sense of Tony Stark as a man, you know, apart from the suit. He really has to work and think without having his equipment able to back him up all the time.
Sounds like Iron Man 1.
Well, yeah,
He invents everything.
It's a little more reminiscent of the beginning of that, but like
reminding them.
building up to it, and especially in the Avengers, like everything depends on the suit, really.
Yeah.
And it's so much focus on the suit and him as Iron Man, and this gets back to him as just Tony Stark,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
a
like,
normal
that was-
guy.
I really like the relationship he had with the kid. Only because you have to look at, he didn't really feel like his dad was there. And so he sees this boy who's basically no one's there for him either.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being his 100% his fully whatever, nonchalant, it's all about me, like really narcissistic, textbook narcissism, which he's been called numerous times, he generally, if you watch just how he's relating with him, he's trying his hardest to be a good role model for this kid. He
No, he's
really
not.
wants. He was actually trying. If you
no,
really look at
he
it,
was not.
Go on.
When I saw there was a kid in it, I was immediately like, oh god, is this going to be like Anakin in Star Wars? Whenever you put a child in an adult-ish movie, it ruins it because it kind of makes it cheesy and ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like his first like interaction with the kid, and the kid's like, oh, spoilers. He's like, well, my dad went out to get a lottery ticket, and I guess he won because he hasn't been back for 6 years. I was just like, oh, how is Tony
Like,
going to react to
slightly funny,
that?
but
Because his dad, like, died when he was young, so he grew up without a dad too. It's like, okay, is he going to try and connect with the kid and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, my dad's gone too. But instead he's like, kid, there's no need to beat around the bush. Your dad ran out on you. It's fine. It's whatever. He just like totally in your face. Like it was like, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Like
Alright,
Michael
back
Jackson.
to the video.
Yeah, Iron Man.
I wish there had been a little bit more of Rhodey in it, because I feel like he was in it like kind of in flashes, but it was mostly like him off doing something.
Yeah.
Like I felt like he was just kind of there for the sake of being there.
I think he was in there. I think he was in there enough so that when he came in the end, that it mattered. Like, he wasn't just randomly, like, thrown in there. Like, oh, hey, we kind of got to add you somewhere, and here you go. And they gave him his own story. Instead of him just being, oh, yeah, I'm Iron Man's friend.
He's not just backup.
Yeah, he is actually doing
yeah.
something on his own.
Yeah.
And it's good that they meet up, in the end, and then they
Well, yeah,
work
and you
together.
you get a little bit more of their friendship developing because of how they both have to work together without either of them having a suit, really,
See, that's where I felt kind of cheated, because I felt like Rhodey's objectives and the use of Iron Patriot in the movie was so separate from what was going on with Tony.
Well, yeah.
Like, really, I felt like he was just being used as a tool by Killian, because he just wanted the suit, and that's really what I felt that's the only reason he was there.
In the movie,
He was used as a symbol for something righteous and powerful, and obviously the bad guy wanted to use him for reverse purposes and turn him into like a symbol of destruction. Like, I felt like Rhodey himself, despite his interaction and how he tied into the plot, wasn't really present. Like, I felt like he wasn't contributing, it was just the suit.
And then
That
he was
was
like,
the
oh,
thing
hey,
that I
learning.
loved about the second movie, was the
Yeah.
interactions between Tony and Rhodey, when Rhodey really sees, like, okay, this guy's screwing up, and as much as I love him, he can't be trusted with this, so he kind of took matters into his own hands. That's when I felt Rhodey was really established as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had a drastic impact on Tony, on the whole story of the movie, on everything. He was an intricate part of that story.
Yeah, he was essential to Iron Man 2, but not to Iron Man 2.
Exactly. I feel like they could have just as easily walked into Stark's lab, taken the suit, and then gone and done that. I felt like Rhodey, he wasn't part of it.
Mm-hmm.